Bob Lilly, number 74, was the foundation on which the Dallas Doomsday defense was built, playing defensive tackle at a level previously unseen in the NFL.
Bob Lilly was by far the best of the best. He was really exceptional in terms of his ability, his knowledge of the game. He was just a great ball player.
Bob was so fast as a defensive tackle that teams had to change their blocking schemes. No center was quick enough to down block on Bob Lilly.
As the Cowboys' first ever draft pick, Lilly carried the weight of franchise expectations on his broad shoulders. His efforts propelled Dallas on its quest for a championship. Their first visit to the playoffs in 1966 pitted them against Green Bay. Lombardi's Packers were already a dynasty, and the only thing Lilly's Cowboys could take from the game was experience. Next year's championship would have been the Cowboys' first, if not for Green Bay's stunning home field advantage.
It was sort of like being in a dream world. You couldn't do anything because it was so slick and it was so cold that the players, I don't know how they caught the ball.
Lilly's speed was neutralized by the ice that covered Lambeau Field. The same ice Lilly kicked at in futility to deny the touchdown that sent Dallas to its second playoff loss.
Maybe we just found out that we were not good enough. I don't know what it was. I think that devastated us for a couple of years.
The next 2 years, the Cowboys' high hopes ended in crushing playoff losses to an inferior Browns team. In both games, Cleveland scored over 30 points on the reeling Doomsday defense. But the biggest disappointment was still to come. In Super Bowl V, a multitude of turnovers put the Colts in position to steal the championship. The game's two enduring images were Jim O'Brien's leaping celebration and Bob Lilly's spontaneous gesture of disgust.
We really were a better team than Baltimore that year, and Bob was just frustrated at the end of the game, as everyone was. Here we came so close again.
That's what all the publications said, Dallas Cowboys bridesmaids of the NFL. I'll never forget that title as long as I live. We had one goal, and that was to go back to the Super Bowl and win it.
Lilly led the way in 1971 as the Cowboys tried one more time to win it all. Against the Dolphins in Super Bowl VI, next year's champions finally claimed football's ultimate prize. Lilly and the Doomsday defense dominated Miami, holding them to a field goal. He put the exclamation point on that championship with a sack that remains the longest in Super Bowl history. The bridesmaids of the NFL finally had their wedding day.
And I think that was probably the best game that we ever played, and that was a game where the Cowboys became America's team. And boy, it was a struggle to get there and to get this ring. It was very difficult. People were beginning to say we couldn't win the big one and all this, and they were right. But we finally did it. I put that big cigar in my mouth and lit it up, and I think that was the happiest day of my life as far as athletics. And the next morning, I was thinking to myself, this is over. The greatest day of my life. What I've been working for all these years is over. I had a very empty feeling. It took so long, so much of my career to get there that sure I wanted to come back and do it again, but I never had that burning fire that you have to have.
If Lilly's fire had been quenched, his opponents never knew the difference. He was the first Dallas Cowboy elected to the Hall of Fame, and the man still considered to be the greatest defensive tackle in NFL history.